Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm TFR Wilderness, and today I am bringing to you the third and final part of my little mini series of reviews on these B&M Exclusive Gunbot figures. And if you look back at the last couple of reviews I've done over the last couple of days, on the 3rd I did a review on this guy, which is Gunbot Alien Battle K01 Fire Dragon. And then 3 days ago I did a review on this guy. This is K02 Tiger Demon. So today I'm doing the final part of this review, and as you know, some people might say, leave the best till last. But before we actually get into that, a little bit of housekeeping. Apparently a little QC issue with this guy has been highlighted to me by one of my recent subscribers and someone who's been commenting on my previous videos, a Mr. Balicious. And he'd been complaining that whenever he moves the arms pop off on this guy. Now, I think I understand what the root of the problem is, and it involves the shoulder pieces. Now, if you look at the arms, the shoulders are held on by a screw, and then you've got a screw on the elbow and a screw on the fist. But the arm is hinged separately inside the shoulder pauldron, and these shoulder pauldrons are ridiculously tight to move. Now, if you've got the shoulder pauldrons in the up position and you go to pull one of the arms down, it comes off. Now, the reason being, obviously this joint is very tight to move, and this is just like a, you see, it's just like a plastic pegging thing that pegs inside with some, you can probably see them, some little holes there on the inside of the arm. And you can sort of pop it back on, but see? And what this is, it's basically this joint here. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to move the shoulder as part of the arm, rather than move the arm independent of the shoulder. I know that sounds a bit weird, but so Mr. Balicious, if you're still having trouble with your arms coming off, I suggest you loosen up these two screws a little bit and loosen these shoulder joints up, and I think that might resolve your problem that you've been having with your toy. But anyway, there's that little problem out of the way. Let's get on to the meat and potatoes of this review, and let's review the third and final figure from this particular series. And like I said, leave the best till last. Now, when I first originally found these figures at B&M home stores on the final day of March, it was this guy that caught my eye initially when I first saw them on the shelf, and I came up and had a look and thought, oh, that looks really cool. And it's this guy. So let's have a look at the bottom of his box. There you got the artwork, and obviously it's the same style of box. It's got the sort of like the red colouring on it. It's got like a reddish brown, and his name is Wolf Beast. And you look on the back, and there's some artwork of him. And I think, from the artwork and looking at the guy in the window, he looks really, really cool. And that was, if I'd have bought one when I initially saw them on that day, this is the guy I would have gone for straight out the bat. So, I mean, it's the same stuff inside the box. Obviously, it comes with a gun. You get a bunch of missiles. You get a target. You get some instructions, and you get some goggles inside the box. Put this on the floor out of the way. Get your man out. Right. So here he is, the final member of the B&M Gunbot crew, K03 Wolf Beast. Now, I really like the look of this guy. I mean, in terms of aesthetic, he's got probably the best proportions and probably one of the best aesthetics of the the three figures. He's definitely got the most normal looking legs. He's got universal hips, and you know, he's got decent legs. He's got knees and feet. You know, in terms of look, the bottom half of him is fine. It's brilliant. Looking at the top, you know, he does have this massive great chunk, like a big beer belly sticking out the front for this massive great chunk here, and that's obviously one of the minor issues I have with this guy. Go around the back, obviously you've got the bulk of the gun forms his backpack. It does have quite a bit of die cast. He's got his lower legs are virtually, apart from the foot, they're all solid, you know, they're all full die cast, and he's got die cast in his forearms. Now he looks really cool. He's got a good transformation. The gun mode looks really awesome. He's got a really cool head sculpt. I'm trying to show it to you without, you know, get some detail, like, come on. Basically, I think it looks a bit like Bruticus. He's got a head sculpt that looks kind of like Bruticus's head sculpt. So it's a really cool looking head sculpt. He's a decent looking bot, and he's heavy as well. And I actually weighed these guys, and this is the heaviest guy of the three. The others are, I think, 561 grams, and this one's 568. No, sorry, I got that wrong. It's 351 grams, and this guy is 368. He's a little bit heavier than the other two, and he really looks the part. Now, obviously in robot mode, he's got some interesting things. He's got these guns on his shoulders that you can angle up or down, whichever way you want. That's pretty cool. He's got this thing that folds out of his chest plate. Now, I think this is actually part of the combiner gimmick. This is, no, because this guy forms a leg, so I think this is like the foot of the combiner, if that's such a thing, because these trans blasters or whatever they're called, that you can get like an undersized version of it off Sir Toys. I think that's part of the combiner gimmick, but obviously these guys don't combine because two of the bots are missing from the lineup. The core bot who forms the body, and I think the other leg is missing as well. So, you know, you won't be able to do a combiner even if you tried. So he's got that. Yeah, and he's a pretty cool looking bot. Now, you can probably hear a rattling noise. Now, this is one of the, he's not perfect, he's got some faults, and one of them is the rattle. Now, what that is his arms. Now, if you look on the inside of his arms, he's got the fist is on this sliding joint, and it's held in by a small screw, and it's very loose. And because his forearms are made out of metal, they're die cast, you've got this rattly thing inside his arm, and every time you move him or jolt him, he makes this rattling noise. So yeah, now you could fix that if you get a washer and put a washer on there to tighten that up, or put some, you know, the usual sort of stuff in there to stiffen that sliding joint up, then that might cure the problem. But straight out of the box, this guy rattles. Now, another design flaw on this guy is well, let's look at the articulation first. Right, the head, again, it's on like it just folds forward transformation, so you can move it up or down. It does have these guns which move up there. He's got this thing that folds out there. I like to think it's a chest cannon. I mean, if you like drilled a little hole in the end to make it look like a cannon port, then you could say he's got like a massive, great, you know, chest blaster that comes out. Now he's got these somewhat suspicious looking joints on his shoulders. They're kind of thin, but they do quite a lot. There is a ball joint in his shoulder, and then you've got like a butterfly joint there, which is on a ratchet, which moves backwards and forwards for transformation. But again, because these guys are made out of some very suspicious looking bronzy gold plastic with, you know, metal flake and swirls in it, who's to say these guys aren't going to suffer from GPS in the future? So you take that gamble when you buy them. So the shoulder goes all the way around. There is a slot in the back of the arm, so you can bring the arm out to the side like that and forwards. And then you've got a little bit of a butterfly joint there. Now, elbows. Now, he is kind of a bit restricted on the elbow front. He cannot, because of the designs of his arms, he cannot hold his arms out straight or down. You know, he can't straighten his arms up fully. I mean, I'll show it here. See, because of the design of the arm. Now, his elbows goes, because it's got a double jointed elbow link, his arm will go all the way up. So he has got double jointed elbows, and they are ratcheted. But because of the design of the arm and the shoulder piece, cannot have his arms straight down. It's always at a slight angle. Does make for some unusual articulation, but not too bad. I've seen worse. Now if we move down a bit, now let's just talk about design flaws, because this guy has got, like, in my opinion, quite a major one. Because he's got this chest piece that it folds down as part of the transformation. There you go, there it is. It's the back of the gun, and it folds down over these shoulder joints, and it partially covers up the trigger. But if you look, you can see right through him, because, you know, the trigger unit is exposed. And I wish they'd have engineered this so that this chunk of the alt mode actually came down a bit more flush on his chest. They could have cut a notch out and give him a double jointed linkage on the top so that it would fold down and maybe clipped into place. That would have been nice. So there is that. Now, if you bear in mind, that's free to move up and down. Now, you look at the hips, get moving down, look at the hips. Now you think universal joints. Brilliant, brilliant. Universal joints, this guy's got proper legs. He's got decent elbows, he's got decent knees that go all the way back for transformation. He's got, you know, a little bit of a toe bend. That's great. And then he's got, you know, legs that do the full splits. They go back. But it's when they come to go forwards that you hit a snag. That happens, right? Let's do it again. Right, move his leg forward, and his chest pops up. Now, if you look closely, you can see here, when you move the leg up, it pushes up on this section, which is on a sliding joint for transformation, and then it pops that up, and then that, in turn, pops that up. Now, the reason it does that is because these universal joints, the pivot point is, again, it's off center. It's not in the middle. And you've got, if you look at the way the leg is designed, you can see there's more in front of the leg pivot than behind. So when you turn it up, it actually encroaches into that. Now, they could have fixed that by putting a clearance notch in this mold in here. They could have had an arc where it would have cleared and not been a problem. They could have had this come down so that it plugged in properly, and they could have had the central pivot on the hips in the middle so that, you know, it didn't cause any clearance conflicts when you turned it. So that is one thing about it that I'm a bit irritated about. So yeah, his chest pops up every time you move the legs forward. Bit annoying, but apart from that, the legs are great. Knees, foot, the hips are okay otherwise. So yeah, he's got good articulation, but like I said, a few minor sort of design flaws that hamper his articulation a little bit. So obviously I've been using this guy quite a bit, and obviously that joint's got a bit weak, but I'm sure you'll be able to fix it by tightening the screw up. So yeah, so that's that. So let's get into transformation, shall we? Transformation's pretty good. Fold the guns up. bring that bit all the way up, and then there's a little thing that clips in at the top. Slide that back, fold the head down, and you get these shoulders. Now you can see there's an angled cut, and fold that up like that, and you get these little flaps which fold around and then clip into place. Then you've got the forearms. Clip them together, slide the fists in, which don't always slide in when you want them to, and you fold it round and clip it into there. There we go. Right, and that's the back of the gun. Now for the fun part, the legs. Right. Fold up the feet. Bring the legs out to the side. Fold the legs in. Twizzle them round. And then fold them back into there. And there's your gun mode. Now, yeah, it's pretty fun transformation. Again, getting these angle cuts on the leg when you're folding it in, sometimes there's some minor clearance issues, but apart from that, it's not too bad. And obviously these linkages here are a bit thin and possibly suspicious. If you get a bit over enthusiastic with it, it might break, because at the end of the day it's gold plastic. But I quite like the gun mode on this. Now he's got almost like a shotgun aesthetic, because you've got the thing under there. It's like a sawn-off shotgun. I think it's got a shotgun aesthetic. Now, another thing in gun mode, this doesn't really peg in that well. And when you're holding it, you can feel that the butt of the gun is made out of a load of loose bits, sort of like very loosely pegged together. So compared to the gun butt on this guy, it's not so great. But apart from that, it's a good looking gun. And to cock it, just pull the back bit and then it fires. Now, again, well, I didn't actually show you him holding this, but he can hold it. There's a little thing on top, so you can put the thing on top. I think it goes around the other way like that. It gives him an extra sort of scope. Cock it and pop a dart in and fire. So yeah, he's decent enough, he's a good little gun. Reloads quite easily, looks great. Yeah, decent gun mode, just a little bit loose around here. So that's my review of this guy. But I think, well, let's just do the final size comparison, shall we? So get this guy back into robot mode quickly. And yeah, obviously you can hold his gun just about. See? And quick size comparison with Leader Megs. He's just a hair shorter than a Leader class figure. But when you do a size comparison with the other dudes, here he is next to K02, and as you can see, he's slightly bigger than K02. But when he goes up against K01, he's at a bit of a disadvantage because, well, he's obviously a lot taller because of the backpack, but, you know, he's about, you know, a head taller. So he's piggy in the middle when it comes to height compared to the other two. But he's a good figure. He's all right, and definitely one of the better of the three, if not the best one. But as you saw from my review, he's got a few issues. Yeah, he's got a few little irritating issues. But part of the reason why I did this series of reviews is to give any UK collectors who go into B&M home stores and happen to see these guys and think, perhaps I'd like to get one of those, which one shall I get? So I've given you the information you need to make your own choice as to which one to get. And to be honest, for me, it's a toss-up between these two, K01, K03. I would not recommend getting this guy, personally. But out of the three, this guy is probably the best. He's got the best aesthetic. He's got you know, he's got decent legs, reasonable arms, and he looks kind of cool. He's got a decent head sculpt, and yeah, he's a good figure. And for, well, you can get them for £9.99. These guys, you can get them for like under 10 quid. They are on the box. It says 15 quid, but you know, you can get them for a tenner, and they're worth a punt. If you know, the guns are fun. The guns are a laugh to mess around with the you know, with the Nerf guns. So you know, they're worth buying for that reason. But you know, if you're a serious collector, you probably wouldn't even look twice at these things, because you know full well, buying them for B&M home stores, looking at the build quality through the box window, these things are obviously shoddily built, typical Chinese, you know, build quality. They ain't gonna last. But and made out of some sort of gold plastic. So what more can you say about them? I took the gamble. I decided to buy into them. I got all three, and I've now done my review of them, and hopefully you've found that enjoyable. Right, so that's my review of these little guys out the way. Hopefully you've enjoyed it and found the information that I've been partaking to you of interest. Maybe some of you might now be tempted to pick these guys up. Who knows? I know somebody who's perhaps watching this video has already bought them, and he has his own opinions on them. But yeah, but you know, your mileage may differ. I mean, I personally think that one of the three is not quite as good as the others. That's just my own personal opinion. But anyway, I've been TFR Wilderness. That's this little series done and dusted. Actually, today, when I got home, I had a big stack of packages waiting for me. But obviously 2 KTRT bots, so I'll be hopefully next week I'll be doing a KTRT review, so look forward to that. And with that said, I will bid you adieu and say farewell. Till next time, ta-da.